Welcome. I am super excited as always. It's time for Ask AP Live. My favorite night of the week is Wednesday at 9 p.m. Please come on in so we can get started. Rhea, you are here. Hey, Rhea. Shout out to all of my faithful watchers. You already know how I feel about y'all. And if you are new to the show tonight, if tonight is your first time tuning in to Ask AP, thank you so much. I hope something here that is said tonight, child, I hope it keep you coming back. This is a good show. We continue our conversations about mental health awareness tonight. For those who don't know, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So I have been having some great counselors and therapists on the show all month long. Tonight, that does not stop. I got my girl, Markeisha Johnson. She is a licensed clinical therapist and owner of Restorative Minds Counseling. So she is going to be dropping some jewels tonight. She's going to be helping us on how to kind of get through those challenging times dealing with mental health, how to accept it, what to do, what not to do. It's been crazy all month. So if you have not saw any of the shows, please make sure to look at the playbacks so you can just catch up and see what's going on. Markeisha will be on in just a second. But I want to first, I got to plug my sponsor tonight because I just love what she stands for. So let me plug that real quick. Make sure I'm spelling everything right, girl. So tonight's sponsor, I'm pinning it. Tonight's sponsor is Classy Budgets. Classy Budgets is a brand that offers inspiration and knowledge on how to maintain your finances, find a way to get out of debt, and live within your budget. Now, the Black community, we think we can just do whatever we want with our money. No, we cannot. Classy Budgets is who you want to look for if you are just a frivolous spender. If you just spend, you want to make sure that you hook up with my girl, Tamara. I have pinned her in the live. Classy Budgets. She uses 3 methods. Budgeting by paycheck method. She uses the snowball method and the cash stuffing method. So if you have a problem with just being reckless with your money, because some of us do, make sure you get with my girl Tamara at Classy Budgets. Follow them on Instagram right now at Classy Budgets. Come on in. I want to show you some love. If this is your first time being on the show, welcome. I see a few new people on here. I am super excited to meet you. My girl Ebony's on here. Ebony watches every week. She is watching from California. Hey, Ebony girl. I am super excited for the show tonight. Mental Health Month has been amazing. I have had some amazing ladies on. And tonight it does not stop because Markeisha Johnson came highly recommended to me. So I know she is going to really, really help us tonight. So come on in. Make sure that you tell a friend who is tuning in tonight. I want to show you some love. Detroit is always on. California is on. I believe that Oregon's on. Virginia is on. Cincinnati is on. What's up, y'all? Thank you for tuning in to Ask AP Live. We are definitely going to have a great show tonight. If you have not saw the other episodes this month on Mental Health Awareness Month, you want to go and watch the playback. You can watch the playback on my page. It's available to you after every show. I make sure that I post the playback because, you know, sometimes you can't get on the live. I understand. Make sure you don't make a habit of it, though. Try to get on here. But in case you cannot, the playbacks are always available. And I still see the views and get the love. So I know who watching and who not. Okay? What's up, Tasha? Tasha tuning in from Oregon. That's one of my faithful watchers. Her and Ebony, thank you so much. I had to push through today, y'all. Today was a day. I had to push through today. You know, it just, the rain, and I'm a lady, and honey, the PMSing is not no joke this month. So I had to push through today. But I am glad that God gives us strength to keep going when we don't feel like it. Amen. Amen. Come on in. Markeisha should be here in just a few. I'm super excited to have her. If you are, Tasha talking about girl, no girl, for real. Today has been the day, child. If you are just tuning in, we are continuing our Mental Health Awareness Month talk. And I have Markeisha Johnson, who is a licensed clinical therapist, on the show tonight. She is the owner of Restorative Minds Counseling, and she came highly recommended. I love when I say I want somebody on my show and then people start blowing me up and be like, this person, that person. And she came highly recommended. So I am super excited to talk to her tonight. She is not like an Instagram person, so let's make sure she feels welcome, because she's like, how you do this, AP? I said, girl, I got you. So I am super excited about tonight's show. She should be in here in a second. I want to make sure that I'm looking out for her. I'm sponsored by Classy Budgets tonight. For those who had a problem with spending money like crazy, you got to buy something, you got to do this, you got to do that. I want to make sure you guys are not just jacking off your money. So make sure that you follow my girl Tamira from Classy Budgets. She is going to get you out of debt, teach you how to live within your budget, and help you maintain your finances. You can find her on Instagram at Classy Budgets. And also, I forgot to mention earlier, she's on YouTube, and she has these amazing videos that shows you how to, handle your cash, okay? Because we want the bag. We don't want to get rid of the bag. We would like to keep the bag. And Markeisha is here. Let me get my girl in. She is here. Let's see if we're doing this the right way.
Hello.
You got home, girl.
Yeah, hold on. Let's fix my stuff. Okay. Can you see me?
I can see you. Are you set up the way you want to be?
Okay.
You good? You can hear me? See me?
I can hear you. Mm-hmm.
Can you see me?
I can see you.
Okay, great. Welcome, Markeisha.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Just want to make sure that you feel super comfortable, because I know you ain't really no live person. So
I am not, but I'm gonna do it.
All good. Thank you so much for being on the show. When I put out the post that I wanted to do Mental Health Awareness Month, and I was looking for some therapists and some counselors, you came highly recommended. So you got people out here that's on your team. So I said, okay, I'm gonna get Markeisha on the show, and you were when I reached out to you, you were like, yeah, let's do it. So I know you know how important this is, especially this being what you do, and I'm just really, really honored to have you on the show tonight to kind of help us, walk us through a couple things. So everybody, this is Markeisha Johnson. She is a licensed clinical therapist, and she is the owner. Is it Restorative Minds Counseling. So yeah. Everybody, welcome my girl Markeisha to the show. Show her some love.
Thank you.
So let's just jump into the conversation a little bit. I want to talk about your background and a little bit of your foundation, which I believe shapes us into who we are and who we become. So let's talk about just a little bit about your background and what made you go into the mental health field, because it's really not too many of us that go into mental health, because we think we don't need no help.
Absolutely, yes. So I actually I graduated with my bachelor's degree from MSU in criminal justice. So
Oh,
I got my degree in criminal justice. I did a little bit of my career before mental health I did an internship in juvenile probation. I interned at Frank Murphy Hall of Justice. I did work with different lawyers. And then I ended up starting my social work career in residential. So I worked in about 2011, I started working at a residential treatment facility for abused and neglected and delinquent girls called Vista Maria. And that kind of really sparked the passion of social work and all of that. So I started that. And then I ended up getting hired for the state of Michigan for the Department of Health and Human Services. So that I still work there. That is my primary job in Department of Health and Human Services. I started out working in foster care, and then I ended up getting promoted to program manager. So I do work there full time, and then I ended up going back to get my master's degree in social work, just working in that capacity, working with those girls who have been through so much trauma. Yeah. I wanted to kind of help them on a different level. So working in case management as a counselor in that aspect was a little different from what I'm doing now. So I really wanted to really touch on like the issues, the root causes of what they've been experiencing. And outside of that, my own family dynamics. Like I have family members that suffer from mental health issues, and it's caused like a lot of generational trauma. I ended up going back to get my master's degree in clinical social work in 2019. And I've experienced a lot. When I actually have a 7-year-old daughter, I decided to go back to grad school when she was 1. Don't ask me why, but she was 1 year old. And I think when you have children, they spark something in you that pushes you to do more. Because I was procrastinating. I'm like, I got all the time in the world. And then I had her. I'm like, oh, no, I do not. I do not. Like, I got to get it now. So I ended up going back to get my master's degree. And in the midst of that, I lost my dad the second year of grad school. So back in 2018. So it's still fresh for me. And super unexpected. Like I literally just saw my dad a week before. He actually took me to the dentist to get a root canal, and then something was off. Like he wasn't feeling good. Like his blood pressure was up and down, and something told me like I needed to check on him. And let me just go back. In grad school, I took a class in the summer when my dad had passed away. I had took a class, and I had to like write a paper on like the most stressful event in your life. And it was kind of a little hard for me to figure that out. Like, so I ended up writing about my brother. I also lost my brother when I was 15 years old. He was my half sibling on my dad's side. And we wasn't as close because we didn't live in the same household. But there was a huge age gap. Like he was 26. So, but we still were close. He was the only child on his mom's side, and I was the only child on my mom's side. So we had that bond. So I ended up writing about my brother. And then a week later, I got a phone call from my aunt. Was like, you need to go see about your dad. Something's not right. And I was like, okay. So I like sped down the freeway to go see what was going on. And then I think I was like a block away from my dad's house, and I got another call from her, and she was like hysterical, saying that he didn't make it. I almost crashed. Like I literally almost crashed my car, and I was like, what? Like this was unexpected. Like I'm like, you losing a parent, you can never prepare for that. So I was like, it was hard to process. So I was about a block away. I ended up going there. The paramedics were there. My dad was like literally laying on the floor with a white sheet over him. So like that was so traumatic for me because I've never experienced nothing like that in my entire life. Like losing a parent is a whole different type of like ball game. Like I never ever thought that was gonna happen anytime soon.
Girl, cry.
No, it's okay. So it was a lot for me, and so I had to plan a funeral. I've never planned a funeral in my life. Like I never lost a parent before. So it was hard for me, and it happened in the middle of grad school. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sensitive. But it started in the middle of grad school, and like I wanted to like take a whole break. Like, I don't know if I can do it. And then something told me, like, my dad, he wouldn't want me to just stop. He wanted me to keep pushing through. He wanted me to keep going. So I ended up going. I called my professor and I was like, hey, I just lost my dad. I'm not able to, like, I think I only had 2 assignments left. And she was like so empathetic. She understood. And she was just like, just take the rest of the semester off and you can finish where you left off next semester. So I was like, okay. So I ended up taking a semester off, and I ended up going to a therapist. So I'm one of those therapists that had a therapist. So I can relate on both spectrums. Like, I was that person that was on the other side of the table, and I'm also that person that helped my clients, because I know what some of them have been through, because I've experienced it. So I took a break from work. I went on a medical leave and I got myself together. I only took the summer off for school. I went back to school in the fall, but I still was off work just because I couldn't do everything. Like, I'm like, it's either I got to go to school or I got to go to work. I can't do both. So I ended up taking a break from work, and then I went back to school and finished. I graduated on time with a 3.9 GPA. I ended up taking my licensing exam in 2020 during the pandemic. I passed on the first try, thank God.
Yes.
So I just was like, I've been through grief. I've been through trauma. I worked with children who've experienced abuse, neglect, trauma, mental issues, legal issues. Like, I always knew that I wanted to help people, but I never knew, like, in what capacity that I wanted to help people. And it took me to go through so many different things to kind of figure out, like, okay, this is my calling. Like, turn your pain into purpose. Like, there are other people that are experiencing the same type of things that you went through, grief like you went through, all different types of stuff. Not only that, I went to therapy the first time because I was going through postpartum depression. I couldn't breastfeed like I wanted to. I wasn't producing enough milk, and that made me feel inadequate as a mother. And I felt really low. I felt depressed. I'm like, what is wrong with me? Why can't I breastfeed? Because if you go through your whole pregnancy wanting to breastfeed and then you can't physically do it, you feel like something is wrong with you. So I ended up seeking a therapist for that as well. And it helped me so much. I went through so many different things. Like, I went to a lactation specialist. Like, I called my mom's friend, mother, who was a nurse, and we FaceTime. She was trying to help me. Nothing was working. And I'm like, you know what? It's okay. It's okay for her. She can get formula. It's okay. And I had to realize that it wasn't my fault. And, there are other options out there. So I did it. I went to therapy for that as well, and ended up doing my internship at both my hospital and the parenting program. So I was helping women who had similar issues. So in every experience that I've been through, I was able to help people go through that same experience in my professional capacity in my professional career. So I always say that, I don't regret nothing, none of the adversity that I went through, because there's a reason that I went through that. Like, there's a reason that God chose me to go through all of these different things so that I can help other people. So yeah, this is why all my experiences made me want to actually do this type of work, because it takes a special type of person to do that, especially in our career in the mental health field. It's like taboo. Like, so that's one of my reasons. Like, I want to normalize therapy. I want to make it okay to seek professional help, because like, even my family, they don't believe in like going to seek a therapist. They be like, go to pray about it, go to church. I'm like, yeah, you can go to church, but also God provides professional people to help people, like doctors, nurses. Like, there are people to help people. Like, we can do both. And what I like about it is I actually did a social therapy. I spoke at a church. It was like a group setting. And I thought that was so dope, because you don't see licensed therapists doing like in the church and having a pastor. So I was a therapist, and then it was a pastor that facilitated it with me. And the person that brought it on was someone that I went to college with, and he was like a youth pastor. And our generation understand that there are like mental health is an issue, and we don't see it, and we don't see it in church. So for him to bring it to his church and make it okay, like, hey, we do have a pastor who's going to help you spiritually get through this journey, but we also have a licensed therapist who's going to help you with the tangible items, the concrete tools to get through whatever it is that you're going through mentally. So I thought that was dope.
I love everything that you just said. It's so, I can't really stop smiling because, first of all, thank you for your transparency. That is what my show is about. And the fact that I didn't have to pull that out of you, God is really doing something on here tonight, because this is what I like for my audience to see. I like them to see real. I like them to see authentic. And I like them to see that we all grow through something no matter what we do. And sometimes you got to go through something in order for you to know what your purpose is.
Right.
And to lose a parent and then to lose a brother, God, he called you to this, but you had to experience that first before you even recognize that this was what he was doing. And that is so powerful to me, that he will never give us more than we can bear. Right. Like, and people think that that's a cliche. Like, I'm looking at you and how strong you are and how it pushed you to your purpose, and you still going and you still wanting to help other people. So I just appreciate you. I just appreciate you have no idea what that just.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I didn't even expect to do, I'm always transparent, and I want to do more, like put my face out there. Absolutely. Girl, I've been having butterflies this whole time, but I had to like calm myself down. But I understand that it's people that, maybe experiencing the same thing and just don't know how to push through. So I've always been that type of person that I become stronger when I go through adversity. Like, I can go through so much, and then I'll be like, dang, that didn't break me, because it's just, I'm meant for it. And I have a bigger purpose, and it's to help somebody else that may not think that they can go through it and come up on top.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to talk about tips that you can give to keep our mental health in check, if there are any. Let me tell you, this week, today is only Wednesday. I probably had to check myself 7,000 times between Monday and today, right? Because I take my mental health very seriously.
As you should.
I do, but before I wasn't doing that. So my sister, I lost 2 siblings within 2 years. My sister died at the end of 2019. My brother died last year.
Okay.
So when my sister died, I did not process it at all. I kept moving, pushing. I kept just trying to be busy. When my brother passed away last year, I was like physically and mentally forced to try to grieve the best way that I possibly knew how. I never really knew how to process grief. I'm not well with death at all. That is not my strong suit. I don't even know how people really move on for real, because I have a hard time doing that. And being forced to grieve my brother, I decided that I was going to really start taking my mental health seriously, because I really thought that I was losing my mind. Right. And I began to just express my feelings, say how I wasn't doing that before. Like, I was just moving on and pushing through. But now it's like, I got to get this out. Like, I've never been the type to really hold anything back anyway. But now I'm really not holding nothing back. So it's like, I'm like, no nonsense. No, I can't. I'm not playing. Like, I'm serious about this. And that's why I decided to bring it back this year. We're going to do this every May on my show. This is a thing. This is a real thing for me.
It's needed. It's definitely needed.
Oh, yeah. So give us some tips on, maybe some signs that we see and may ignore, and just some ways to just get through and just check ourselves mentally when we feel ourselves kind of like slipping away.
Yeah, absolutely. So there are multiple different symptoms when it comes to just understanding when something is wrong. So physical symptoms can stem from like a tight stomach, like cramps or things like that. And that's a lot of times we hold our stress in our stomach, in our, and even like with children. Like I talked to, my career was more so with children and child welfare, but on a case management side. But when kids be like, my stomach hurt, and it's nothing physically that's causing that to happen, most of the time it's because something is stressing them out and they can't verbally indicate what it is. And same with adults. Like we carry our stress in our stomach. Like even it's so many Black women that go through physical issues. Like I want to say one of the ones is, I think it's fibroids that a lot of Black women have, and they cannot figure out what is the cause of it. And it's like, where y'all research at? And probably because Black women are stressed, and they're going through depression and trauma and all types of stuff. So physically, that is one of the physical symptoms that you can say. If your stomach is hurting, if you're having headaches, things like that, where it's nothing that's causing it, you just having random headaches. It can be, and a lot of times we don't recognize what our triggers are. One of the things that I teach my clients all the time is identifying what's triggering you. And sometimes they can't even remember. And the reason why is they just either block it out or they just, I don't know, they just don't remember. But understanding what your triggers are. Also, like if you find yourself like losing interest in a lot of things that you used to enjoy. Like if you're a type of person that enjoys hanging out with your friends, and then lately you just feel like not being bothered and you're isolating yourself, that is one of the signs of something is not right. You may be going through a depressive state, things like that. So that's something to kind of really pay attention to. Also, your appetite. One of the things, either you are stress eating or you not eating. So it's either one or the other. You either have a poor appetite or you're binge eating. Those are some other signs that something is not right. Like maybe you're going through depression, maybe, you're not feeling the best. And if you're continuously like having saddened moods, like you're sad and you don't understand why, you cry, having uncontrollable crying spells, like those are some of the signs that you can figure out like something is not right. Isolation, loss of interest, loss of appetite, like all of those. There's so many different ways. But also what I wanted to really touch on is high functioning depression because we can see that is something that a lot of like we know when people are not right because you can see it on their face. They're not smiling, they're looking angry, they're looking mad. But you also don't recognize when you have friends who are going about their day to day as if nothing is wrong with them. And most of the time they're going through a lot, but they're not showing it. They're putting on this facade. And like prime example, and I want to give this an example because it broke my heart. Like I sent it to my group chat, my friends, and I was like, sent the article, like the Miss USA girl that died, I think her name is Chesley Chris. She committed suicide in January of 2022. She was an attorney. She was freaking Miss USA. Like she has so much going for herself. Nobody knew that she was battling with anything, like nothing. Her mother ended up coming out saying that she was going through depression, but she didn't know it was that severe. But I was doing so much research because I was just so intrigued by her story because, this could have been anybody, any of us, like my friends, family that you would think is okay and they're not. So her death really took a toll on me, even as a professional, because it's like, what were the signs? And that's a lot of times we know what depression looks like from somebody who is showing you that they're depressed. But how do you recognize someone who is depressed when they don't really show it.
Right.
A lot of people are, especially on social media, people show you what they want to show you. So they show you the good times, them being happy and everything.
Yeah.
And then they be struggling. So if you have a friend, like, and I always talk about the strong friends, I always check on those people too, because, you know, I'm one of those people that considered the strong friend in my family. I'm the person to go to, like, I'm the dependable, responsible one. And everybody comes to me, and that's a toll on me all the time, like being available for everybody and things like that. But a sign that you can see for somebody who is considered a strong person, who you don't think that would go through depression or anything, is perfection. Like, is this person a perfectionist? Like, that, you look at being a perfectionist, like, oh, you just want to be excellent in everything you do, but sometimes there's an underlying reason for being a perfectionist. You know, they have, everything has to be perfect for them. Or the person that is always busy, always productive, always doing something, just booked and busy, or just doing something, having all these things planned. But sometimes they are doing that to distract themselves. They're doing it because they don't want to be at home, because they know if they're at home, they're going to be in their head thinking of all different types of stuff. So they make themselves busy so that they don't have to sit there and process what really is troubling them. So those are some signs that you can kind of look for in someone who you may not think may be depressed or going through something. Now, high functioning depression is not a clinical diagnosis. This is actually something that has started coming, like this term has started coming out within the last few years. But it's not in our DSM-5. It's not something that we can clinically diagnose with someone. But PDD, which is persistent depressive disorder, is something that may look like high functioning depression. So what that is someone who's experiencing depression for about 2 years or more. Their symptoms isn't as severe as somebody who's experiencing like major depressive disorder. It's like mild depression, but it's like over time. So somebody who is high functioning, they may be feeling like low, or they may have symptoms of depression, like they may feel sad, but they still can do their daily activities. So they don't classify as clinical depression, but it could be PDD. So those are just some signs that you can think of, especially, and I always say, check on your strong friends. Like, say, how are you doing? Give them a call, you know, and just really, you know, because that sometimes they need that, especially if that they're the person that's always the one that other people come to.
Calling. Yeah. First of all, I didn't know it was all these different I didn't know it was all of these different ways of being depressed. Like, you know, all different, like the clinical sayings of being depressed. But I did know, and I'm glad that you clarified that. I did know that there was a such thing as being a functioning, like being able to like function, still be depressed. Because I think that is what I was. I think I was I was depressed, but I was still like functioning. But like I said, after that second loss, it was like it was no more functioning. It was just like you're gonna have to deal with this thing. Your recommendations for seeing someone. You know that the Black community, we think that this isn't a thing. We don't want to talk to nobody. We want to talk to Pookie and Ray Ray and hear what they got to say about.
Right.
We want Pookie and Ray Ray to diagnose us. And we don't want to seek professional help because we think that it's something wrong with it. And I don't know why we feel that way, because like you said earlier, God created all these people. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And he created them for us so we can have access to them. So what would you say to somebody that may be experiencing some of the symptoms that you just talked about, who is kind of straddling the fence and not sure, you know, if they want to go see someone? What would you say now to kind of, you know, make them a little comfortable in taking that step?
So I would say, and just being completely transparent, because I really advocate for my Black community. Like,
Absolutely.
I take other people that are not Black, don't get me wrong,
right,
but I know that it's such an issue with our community when it comes to mental health, because we all need to talk to somebody. This is how I put it. Being Black in America, we have experienced trauma. Like, and this is why I say, this is how I normalize going to therapy. We go to the dentist every 6 months for routine checkups, for cleanings. We go to our primary care doctor for preventative health care to get our annual checkups. We go to our OBGYN to get our, checked up. We do all of this routinely, right? But when it comes to our mental health, it's like we don't care about it. And to be honest, our mental health affects our physical well-being. So if we're not right mentally, then we're not going to be good physically. So it's not, we have to get out of that negative stigma indicating that mental health is just for crazy people. Like, no, it's not. Like, we all need it. And if you Black, you definitely need it, because I still get, when the police is behind me, my heart still races. And I have a license. My license is like intact. I don't have no suspensions. I have valid proof of insurance, valid registration. But why is it that my heart continuously races when they is behind me and they're not even trying to put me over? Because I'm traumatized. I am traumatized by how they've been treated
by other people's stuff.
It's called secondary trauma, vicarious trauma.
I got triple trauma.
Yes. So I just say that, we've all experienced some form of trauma, and it's okay to seek professional help just to check in, just to ensure that you're right mentally. We've been in a pandemic. Everybody, not just Black people, we all need to go to seek therapy. Like, working remote with your kids, like, it's not for the weak. Like, it's not. So you are going, it's so many different reasons for you to, like, get some type of professional guidance about your mental health. And it doesn't mean that you're crazy. And I just want to advocate to break that negative stigma. And to be honest, our millennial generation are breaking that. They are breaking that generations, like the previous generations. I don't know, they may be a lost cause. I'm gonna still keep trying, but I'm really speaking to our younger generations too, because we really can break that cycle. Like, we really can normalize. Like, it's so many different podcasts that I've been seeing talking about this and creating safe spaces where we can talk about our mental health and not feel ashamed about it. Like, I am a therapist, and I will be the first to say I've had a therapist, and I wouldn't be who I am and the type of therapist I am without that help. Like, I promise you I would not. And it's helped me so much. So I'm relatable when it comes to this, because I've been you. I've been that person that experienced that. And I also can help you professionally. So I always tell my people that therapy and seeking professional help is important. It's just as important as you going to the doctor and the dentist, to be honest. If not more, So, and because you don't want to wait until you get, something happens and you just explode and something happens bad or negatively because you couldn't channel your emotions, or you couldn't figure out positive ways to cope with whatever it is that you're dealing with. And especially within our community and our culture, there's so much generational trauma. And that's something that I'm super passionate about, is breaking that generational trauma. My family included. It's all type of crazy stuff going on. I'm like, nobody know like why this is happening. Okay, I'm gonna be the one to figure out and stop it. So it takes us to figure out and want to stop that generational trauma. Like, even working in child welfare for over 10 years, you see so much like abuse, neglect, and you see sexual abuse and things like that. There's, most of the time sexual abuse victims have been sexually abused themselves, and they haven't sought that treatment, or they normalize that behavior because it was done to them. So they're offending because they think that's normal. And then, back in the day, they used to sweep stuff under the rug. Like, don't tell nobody my business. Like, that's why we were where we at, because y'all didn't speak up. Y'all talking, y'all hiding, having all these different secrets. And now we have all this trauma that is trickling down from generation to generation. So I want to stop that. Like, we need to get help. We need to figure out ways to improve our mental health so that we won't pass that on to our children and their children.
Yeah. I'm glad that you touched on it being in our bloodline, you know, and breaking those, which in the biblical sense are generational curses. That's what they are.
That's
And
what they
it going back years and years and years, stuff that we don't even know anything about, way before our time. Yeah. And we're just, you know, and it affects us. It affects us through our entire lives. And I want to touch on those relationships that we have, whether they are with our family, whether they are on the job, whether they are personal relationships, romantic relationships, and how those affect our mental health, because they do. Sometimes you can have a conversation with someone that will affect your mental health. I am really big on not holding certain conversations with certain people. There are things that I am not talking about. There are things that will come up and I am changing the subject, or I am just removing myself from the conversation, period, because that helps me. Like, I know my certain triggers. There are certain things that I don't want to see. There are certain things that I don't want to hear. There are certain places that I am not going. So just talk a little bit about how different relationships affect our mental health.
So that's a really good point, because relationships definitely affect our mental health.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, because of the type of relationship it is, we often feel obligated to keep that relationship or to entertain that, even if it brings us, it messes up our energy, or if it don't bring us peace. And when I talk about that, most of the time I'm talking about family, like family, even romantic relationships too. But, you know, sometimes when it comes to family, you feel like you can't cut ties with family because they're your blood. But if they're bringing you turmoil, or if they're not bringing you peace, and you're going to have to put healthy boundaries in place. Like, it's okay to, you know, I wouldn't say cut them off completely, but you have to protect your peace. Like, you have to protect your peace. If somebody is continuously negative or bringing you that turmoil, or just have this negative spirit, whenever they are around, it's always negative and it just brings you down, you're going to have to literally put in some healthy boundaries in place. Have a conversation with them. Like, I don't mean any disrespect. And this is what I'm saying about our community. And I always respect my elders. Like, I have the utmost respect for my parents, my grandparents, and all of that. But in our community, it's like, because they're elders, it is what it is. Whatever they say goes. Even if they disrespectful, tell you all, you know, like, we have to figure out ways to have healthy communication. Yeah. And I get that you are my elder. However, I am a grown adult, and we need to be able to have effective communication. Like, I had to have a conversation with my mama, to be honest, because, like, and have to tell her how to talk to me. Like, it's a way in which you communicate. Like, we need to be, your tone, your delivery, and because they're your parent, you feel obligated to accept it. But if it's bringing you distress, you have to put yourself first. You have to put yourself first. If that is bringing you distress, like, always communicate. And that's why I work a lot on effective communication with my clients, because that is one of the issues that messes up relationships, because people don't know how to effectively communicate. So somebody can say something in a way that the message is not going to be received right because of the delivery. So you can say something a different way, and we good. But people don't know how to communicate. Like, it's the way in which your tone, how you talk to people, like, you know, so that I always say, make sure that you put healthy boundaries in place. And relationships, I don't care who it is, if they're bringing you distress, you're going to have to cut I wouldn't say cut it off, but I would say put a boundary in place and even just have that conversation with them. Let them know how you feel. And I do a lot of I statements because somebody can't tell you how they made you feel. So whenever I'm communicating or having an uncomfortable conversation with somebody, I always start off saying, I feel like this because X, Y, and D. Because once you start saying you did this, you did that, they not gonna be like it's gonna turn into an argument. So you have to really change your delivery and talk to them. Like, just let them know that whatever it is that you can say, oh, how you communicate or whatever you did made me feel. No, I feel like this because of this, and I know this may have not been your intent. However, this is how I felt. And then once you have that conversation, they may have not even recognized that they made you feel like that. But because you communicated in a way for them to really look and reflect at what they did in a way that wasn't disrespectful or pointing the finger, the conversation can go in a whole different positive way. So the outcome could be a little better. But communicate relationships, it always stems to communication. And I always say, just don't cut people off. And a lot of times we have that culture, like our culture is like, oh, block them, cut them off. They know what they did. No, they don't. People are not mind readers. You have to be able to communicate what happened. Don't ghost people. Like, tell them what it is that they did so that they can fix it. And a lot of times we don't feel like we need to do that. So, we just like, oh.
Let me cut you off right there, because I gotta piggyback off of that, right? So I understand that people are not mind readers. Okay? I understand that. I understand that we have to tell people how we feel. We shouldn't cut them off. We shouldn't ghost them, right? So say we've been doing that. I'm just, say you have told somebody on numerous occasions, this made you feel like this, and it keeps happening, right? It keeps happening. And now I'm tired of saying it, because some people just...
Then I give you permission to cut them off.
I'm just saying, because, I'm asking for a friend. But I'm just saying, because it's only so many times that I'm getting ready.
And that's why I talk about that healthy boundaries. Like, all I'm saying is give somebody the opportunity to understand what they did wrong before you cut them off. And if they don't understand after you done explained it, then you have permission to cut them off. Like, I would never say keep being around somebody that is bringing you turmoil or bringing you that negative energy, or they're not recognizing what they're doing. Or sometimes people are just selfish and they don't care. So if you've expressed how you felt and they are disregarding your feelings, then they're not the person that they shouldn't be around you. They shouldn't be in your environment, because they don't care about your well-being. They don't care that whatever it is that they're doing is negatively impacting you.
Got you. I had to ask, because I'm quick to cut somebody off, okay? I'm quick to block your number, your social media.
I am too.
Everything
too. After I communicated how I felt and you still doing it, oh, you blocked.
But you know what?
I'm protecting my peace.
You're teaching me, and you always got to be willing to learn. And one thing about me, I am always willing to learn. So you are helping me, because maybe I need to make sure that make sure that I'm saying things the right way, so I can get the right response. It's not always everybody else's fault. Sometimes we gotta,
do some self-reflection.
Right. Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. You helping me tonight, girl. You helping me. So let's talk about social media. Mm-hmm. We hit on that just a little bit, but we got to go deep, because we are on social media right now, and everything on social media is the best ever. Everything is everybody doing good, everybody looking good, everybody rich,
everybody
got a Lamborghini, everybody got a Ferrari, everybody got a big house and $1 million and all that other stuff.
Right.
Let's talk about how too much social media maybe will affect your mental health? And is there a certain balance that we should give social media? When is a good time to say, hey, I gotta disconnect? Because me personally, I disconnect from social media so often. Really, for me, I get it in my spirit when it's time to. Some people don't get it in their spirit. I get it in my spirit when it's time to come off, and I can come off and be good with it. I just have to take the apps off my phone so my mind won't click on it. But no, for real. So give us maybe some tips to kind of like, okay, this is enough. I've seen all I needed to see. Let me get off of here, because we'll subconsciously get back on here.
Yeah. So I would say, if you find yourself comparing yourself and comparing your life to other people based off of what they post on social media, that's a clear indication that you need to take a break. Because a lot of, especially in our society, where like our generation now, where everything is on social media, like lifestyle, everything, you gotta post every single thing. Like, a lot of people get insecure. I have so many clients that came to me just talking about, like, just they don't think they're where they need to be. And I'm like, why you think that? Oh, because such and such is this. I seen this person on social media. Like, why are you comparing your life to them? And it's like, if you find yourself doing that, where you're feeling envy or jealousy of somebody else's life, then you need to take a break, and you need to stop, and you need to do some self-reflection and understanding that you don't know their life and what they're doing in closed doors. People show you what they want you to see. They're not a lot of people are not transparent on social media. They're not showing you the process. Yeah, they may be successful now, but that stuff didn't happen overnight. It probably took them years to get to that point. And that's the thing. People think that, and I have a lot of young clients. Like, I have a lot of younger clients that come to me too. And I have a younger boy. Well, he's early, like teenage, 19, 20 or something. And he is the prime example. He talks about, he's not rich. He looking at these rappers, Lil Baby, Da Baby, I don't know how many babies it is, but talking about he wants that lifestyle. And like, I'm like, well, how are you going to get that lifestyle? Like, what are you doing to prepare yourself to get there? Because I'm sure they didn't just get there overnight. Like, what are you doing? Yeah. And it's like they are infatuated with the lifestyle, but they're not infatuated with the work. It's like they expect instant gratification. So I just let people know that social media it can be a gift and a curse. Like, to be honest, like, it can cause you to feel inadequate. It can cause you to feel depressed because you are looking at other people's lives and not knowing exactly what they're doing or how they got to where they're at. So if you feel any type of insecurity, any type of envy, jealousy, or that you are not where you need to be based off of somebody else's life that they're displaying to you, then you need a break. And it's okay to have a social media break. Absolutely. Like, I have a friend, she's probably on here now because I think I saw her. She takes social media breaks all the time, and she'll come back and like 50 million pictures. I'm like, girl, but yeah, it's crazy. She'd be like, I have to disengage from social media, and that's her healthy boundary. That's what she does to help her. And you just have to recognize what and how to do it. And a lot of people, it's like, they don't do it. Like, they just continuously scroll through social media. If you feeling like you mad and you sad off of scrolling on social media, that's not what it's for. So if you feel like those feelings, then just take a break.
No, I'm telling you, it can be it for me. I erase the app. Like, I'll erase the app off my phone just so
you won't scroll.
And I also noticed a trigger for me too, in knowing that I need to take a break, is if two things: if I'm waking up on it, and if I'm falling asleep on it.
Like, you fall asleep with the phone in your hand? No, that's a problem.
How about falling asleep and then not realizing I'm asleep, and then when I look at my hand, the phone is in it, and I'm on social media, like, it's time to take a break.
At least you know.
No, yes. I know. Like I said, I get it in my spirit. Like, okay, you need to take a break. When I start to see too many negative things on here, I gotta take a break.
And
when I see, like, you know, just like the shootings in Buffalo and things that are going on right here in the city, you know, when it gets too heavy feeling, I gotta come off of there. You know,
Yep.
those are my triggers. So I just wanted you to kind of speak on that social media part a little bit, because people don't think that stuff affects your mental health. Looking at other people's lives.
Yeah, it does. And another thing is sometimes people are following the wrong things. Like, if you find your social media filled with like negative energy and drama, because I heard a lot of people saying certain things, like talking about their followers is, I'm like, well, my followers are positive and I follow like quotes and inspiration and stuff. So sometimes you have to feed your mind, and you can do like a social media cleanse. You know, that's another way to kind of fix that issue. Like, you know, start following different things, like start following like positive affirmations. Like, it's so many different quotes. I follow so many different quotes. Women boss is mindset, like, you know, spiritual. Like, I follow so many different things that give me that inspiration. And that we need to do those daily affirmations as well. So if you waking up in the morning, you want to say, I am this, I am beautiful, I will have abundance. You know, you want to follow things that's going to feed your soul and feed your energy as well. I wouldn't suggest following all type of gossip sites and things like that. It's unproductive. Like, who cares about what these celebrities are doing and what their business is about? Like, if you have a lot of information or a lot of posts that's about that, you know, that's what your energy is being fed into that. And sometimes we do what we do as we see. So if you engage in drama because you are seeing drama every day, like, you are more prone to engage in positive activities and positive talk if you are seeing that on a day-to-day basis. So that's another way you can kind of, you know, fix your social media if you're scrolling and you're getting upset or something like that. But
so, Markeisha, if we want to reach you, so are you taking on in-person clients, or are you strictly doing virtual, or are you doing both?
Right now, currently, I'm just doing teletherapy, so all virtual sessions. At some point, I will probably go back to in person, but right now, I'm doing just all virtual.
Okay, so let me ask you this one last question before I want you to give out your information and tell people how to book you and all that stuff. But let me ask this one question. Are the virtual appointments just as effective as being in person? Because I am an in-person type of girl, right? This virtual stuff is like this because it's had to be since the pandemic. And that's really how my show kind of like took off, because I was in the house and I was like, what am I going to do in here all day? I got to do something. I got to talk to somebody. I don't have a dog. I don't have anything. I need somebody to talk to. I'm here going crazy. And I decided to do the live, and God, he just been doing his thing with him, and I'm just blessed that it worked out like that. But I am an in-person girl, right? So how effective is the counseling sessions? You know, would you say that they're better? Would you say that in person is better? You know, I just wanted your opinion on that.
Yeah, so I think that the virtual sessions are just as effective as the in-person sessions. Like, everybody had their own preference as to what they want, but I was doing in-person before the pandemic, and then the pandemic hit. Just for safety reasons, it's been virtual. But my clients love the flexibility. They love that they don't have to drive to the office and parking and stuff like that, because my office initially was downtown, so parking, got to do that. But it's definitely effective, and I try to be creative in my virtual space. So that's another thing. Like, it's not like my clients feed off of my energy. Like, I have high energy when I'm in sessions. Like, my personality shines through just as if I was in person. And I try to be more creative and do like a lot of interactive stuff because we are virtual, so we do a lot of engagement. Like I'll share my screen, show them stuff, so it wouldn't be like we just talking through a screen. So I have not had any complaints with any of my clients that have seen me virtually. They actually like it because it's like they can get up and log on their computer and they don't have to take out time to drive and go there, because you have to calculate, transport going, stuff like that. So all of my clients, they never had any issues with it virtual, but I know some people that prefer that in-person interaction. But I can say that the virtual for me, for my practice, is just as effective as it is if it was in person.
Okay. All right. So how can we get in contact you if we want to book a session? Do you take our insurance, child? What? We need
yes.
to know these things.
Yes. So the insurances that I currently accept are Blue Cross Blue Shield, United Healthcare, Cigna, Aetna, and Oscar Health. I'm currently working on getting credentialed through HAP and Medicare, and a few other insurances.
Okay.
However, I offer private pay. So if you do not have the insurances that I do accept, I do have a private pay option, which will be out of pocket. And depending on like your finances, I do offer a sliding scale based on how your finances look. I do offer an affordable rate for you, and we'll just have to do a consultation to see what that looks like. But yeah, so those are the insurances that I currently accept. And if you want to book a consultation with me, you can do so through my website, which is my Restorative, RESTORATIVE, mindscounseling.com. So it's you can just click on book me. I will be a 15-minute consultation, and what the consultation is for me to figure out what brings you to therapy, what are some of your areas of concern. I'll go a little bit about like the type of interventions that I would do just for your areas of need, and then we'll talk about insurance and things like that. So with my consultations, if you do have insurance, during that consultation, I'll verify your insurance right then and there. It literally takes maybe less than a minute, and then I'll know exactly if you have copays, if you have co-insurance, or if you have a deductible that hasn't been met. You will know all of that before we do a whole intake. So all of that is done within a 15-minute consultation. And then you can decide, you have that opportunity to ask any questions that you need, just to see if my practice is a good fit for you.
First of all, I'm mad you don't take my insurance.
What's your insurance?
We'll talk about that off record.
Okay.
I'm sitting over here like, is she gonna say it? Is she gonna say it?
So if I have clients that want to see me and it's an insurance that they don't take, then I will go through the paneling process. So I am, I will go through. I have a couple of clients when I left my last practice and opened my own practice. I didn't off the bat start taking their insurance, and they all was like, "Well, we'll wait." Like I'm like, you can go.
I'm over here like,
So if it's a client that have another insurance, like it's just I have to go through that process of getting credentialed, which it depends on the insurance. It may take it may take a minute. I don't know how long. Usually it'd be like 3 months. So it just depends. But yeah, we'll talk offline and you'll let me know.
Yeah, we'll talk offline. Thank you so much, Markeisha, for being on the show tonight. When I say you killed this, like you killed this, like it's so funny to me because you was like, what am I supposed to do? Because what am I supposed to do? I don't know nothing about this stuff. And then you came on here and killed this like this. Girl, you need to do these often, like for yourself. Like just get up here. I'm all about pushing people and encouraging people. I'm gonna toot your horn, sis, because that's just me. You have a lot of great information to share, and being that you have your own practice and stuff, I'm speaking life into you. I'm telling you, I'm speaking life. I think that you should do lives more often and just give tips and, share your experiences and, help. Like these lives are effective. Like, believe it or not, like when God first gave me the idea to start doing the lives I was kind of like, all right, God, you got to give me something because I'm in the house bored. I was like bored in the house, and I'm in the house bored. Like that was, I was like, I'm going crazy in here. And he was like, go live. And I'm like, go live.
And I don't know why I be so nervous going live.
But
Like, I don't
listen, you did so good. And I'm not just saying that just to say it. Like, you really did good. Like, anytime you can help the host, you did. Anytime, listen, because I'm over here like, this is my show. This ain't her show. This is my show. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to be in control. And I'm over here like, about to cry and all this stuff. No, you did good.
I know. I need to, and it's just, I be getting my own way. I just be you should have seen my heart racing, girl. My 7-year-old had to help me with breathing exercises. She like, we do this in school, calming. I'm like, you're trying to be a therapist too? I was like, what? She was like, yes, breathe in, breathe out 3 times. I was like, okay, girl, I was doing that before this. So I appreciate positive feedback. And I do want to get out of my comfort zone with that. And I do sessions, like I do one-on-one, but I think it was just like the audience. And even my friends tell me all the time, they're like, Markeisha, you are good at speaking. And I'm like, it's just, I think it's just a natural reaction. I tell my clients that too, like it's naturally, like you're going to feel nervous just because that's just a natural reaction to have.
It is, but you did so good. And I'm encouraging you, like maybe do, mental health Mondays. Just try it one day a week and just come through for a minute. You ain't got to stay long. Maybe do about 20, 30 minutes and then get off and just see how you feel until you feel like you want to, keep them going. But you did really good. Like you helped us. My people like, yes. Now your DM about to be flooded with stuff and everything. But
no, I really appreciate you, and I really appreciate you even coming to, because when you sent me because I did see a few people sent my name to that status. And I'm trying to do more because this is not my first live. Like I've done other lives before, but I haven't been doing them regularly or anything like that. And I want to bring more awareness. Like I want to break that stigma, and I want to normalize therapy. And in order to do that, you have to talk about it on a different, I talk to my clients and things like that, but just on a larger scale so people can understand and feel comfortable that you're not alone. Like I've done this. I've been to therapy. I'm a therapist. Like I know several of my friends have been to therapy and it's working, and you want to grow. You want to become better. And if you figure out that there's something that is going on with you that is not right, it's okay to seek professional help. It's a safe space. Like it's a non-judgmental space. It's not a family. It's not a friend. You don't have to feel like you're just putting your stuff on other people. Like this is my job. This is my job to sit here, listen, and provide tangible tools and objectives and things like that to help you get through this difficult time. So it's okay to seek professional help because that's what we're here for. We're here for that. And the times that we're living in, I think it's crucial that we do take advantage of the resources that are readily available for us. We are in war right now. Like, we in a race war, terrorist war. Like, we just have so much going on. Our kids are, struggling socially, academically. Like, I can go on and on with so many different challenges that we're all facing. And it's okay to talk to people and have that outlet to kind of figure it out, because the stuff is not, at least you can process it in the most healthy way and figure out how to live through it. Some of the stuff may not ever go away, but just like grief is never going to go away. You're going to get triggered on birthdays, anniversaries, things like that, but you find ways to cope with it and live without that person being physically here.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Markeisha. I really, really, really appreciate you for coming on the show and just helping us tonight. Like, that is the greatest thing I feel like you could helping somebody is better than money. Relationship is better than money. People always look at me like I'm crazy when I say that, but being able to reach out to people and them being willing, to come on my show and speak to my audience That is like the best thing ever to me. Y'all don't be asking me for no money because I ain't got it. Y'all know
Right.
artists. Y'all know this. Y'all be like, AP, we got you. And I just appreciate y'all so much. And thank you. I have to have you back on the show again, girl. I have to.
You know I do it. I'm comfortable now. Like, I'm comfortable now.
Girl, look.
Yeah, I'm good.
That's when you know you got a good host.
Yeah, it was like you told me. He was like, I'm like, are you gonna tell me what questions I need to talk about? You're like, girl, it's just a conversation. It's a conversation. I'm like, yeah.
That's what and it was a wonderful one. It was very informative, and I just appreciate you. I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna reach out to you tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm gonna reach out to you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'll talk to you.
Okay.
Bye. Okay.